Stewardship is a path of many steps. The steps that woodland owners take are linked to their goals, values, and their vision for their land. In Baldwin, Maine, northwest of Sebago Lake, a community of woodland owners is taking shape.
What's good about the Baldwin Woods Forum is we get a lot of different people from different walks of life out here looking at the woodlot. It doesn't make any difference what you're really looking at, but just get a day to get outside and trade information and work on this peer-to-peer relationship with people that own timber lots.
Sharing people's insights and people's experiences in terms of techniques that work, or particular service providers, or particular technology or equipment, or even sharing the equipment itself. Going in together on the, that can be very expensive, a lot of commercial thinning and cutting and that kind of thing. So if you can share those resources, that makes things possible for everybody that wouldn't be possible for any one individual.
Well, it's not only with the advice that I pick up maybe in just casual conversation, but my current forester, Jeff Williams, and I here just last week were over at a property here in Baldwin where SWOM, Small Woodland Owners Association of Maine, had a field exhibit at one of my neighbor's woodlots, and got to talk with some other foresters and some loggers, and a lot of ideas about how one lot might vary from another in terms of the issues we would have with it.
Where your property sits as part of a larger whole is of huge importance. You can only do what you can do with your, several hundred acre plot or less. The ecology of the land doesn't confine itself to property boundaries. So it makes a lot of sense, both in zoning, in long-term land planning, and then in choosing, what to do with your individual property, to look at it all collectively, look at what makes sense for land use in various places. If everyone thinks collaboratively about what a total, community landscape looks like and what's optimal for making, bringing out the best in everybody's property, given all of the, various potential competing uses, you get a whole that's much larger than the sum of its parts. A way to enhance the beauty and the longevity and the health of all of the properties together. So it makes absolute perfect sense to think of it, to the fullest extent possible, from a community standpoint, or a collaborative.
I do see some emerging problems as to the age of the current ownership, how it's going to be handed down, whether there will be another generation that wants to maintain the same general conservation type forestry. I don't think there's any real guarantee that this will continue to be as heavily wooded area of Maine as it is right now.
That brings up the reason as to why we own this land, although my wife says no more investing, getting into our mid-60s here and trying to figure out how we're ever going to retire. But this land, we really want to buy land that will stay in the family for a long period of time.
I think that it is essential that land, particularly like this, be preserved, just because once it's gone, it's very, very difficult to reclaim. So what's there, it's essential to be preserved, particularly in sort of large contiguous lots. So whether your traditional inheritance path is the best avenue to that, I don't know. I think what's most important is that the existing or the current steward of the land keep it managed, keep it sustainable, keep it open, keep it preserved.
And I know there's a lot of interest in succession, not just in terms of the forest itself, but in how you hand this down and maintain your land in a working forest situation.
It's just the connection to the future, that she will have this. And knowing that she loves it so much. Even though she lived most of the year in western Pennsylvania, she always thought of this as home.